You don't wanna feel my skin. You don't wanna feel my skin. You just wanna dream of sin. Sickness floating in our veins, players in a spotlight game.
Today, we are putting on the side pieces of the diffuser. And honestly, dude, I was just looking at the car outside in its entire essence with the skirt extensions and everything that we have going on. And I honestly think that this is going to work out really well. So I did make a boo-boo on this side. I tried to just do this off of like looking at the bolts underneath and smoke these holes, but they didn't match up as good as I wanted to. So what I ended up doing is I just used a little bit of anti-seize lubricant, and I put the anti-seize lubricant on the bottom of these two bolts, which are 8 millimeters. So I just placed a little bit of it on there, and then I took the carbon fiber piece and laid it onto those two bolts where I thought it looked good, and they left a little mark, obviously, and that's where I ended up smoking the holes. I figured that would be the best way to kind of line it up and get the measurements for how I wanted this to lay so I could actually look at it on the car and then put some holes in the ear. The only problem that we have now is this is the factory 8 millimeter bolt, and this little bolt is only long enough to go through this carbon fiber piece. So I'm gonna run over to Home Depot because the thread pitch on here is rather specific. So if you just try to use like a regular screw that's long, it won't work as well. So I'm gonna go and get one that's twice as long as this because we'll need it. This bolt just happens to be the exact same length as this carbon fiber. So I'm gonna get one that's twice as long so it goes through the carbon fiber and into the car, and then we should be good. I might lay on a little bit of 3M as well, and then we'll see if I need any self-tapping screws. But I think from this point forward, we should be okay. So I'm really excited to see how they actually look. I wasn't planning on putting these on in the first place. As you guys saw when I did the diffuser, I just decided to not use them because they look too crazy. But once I kind of put everything else on, I honestly think that these are gonna make a lot of sense, and I think they're gonna look really good. Especially with the rear mud flaps, like they line up to the mud flap really, really nice. So everything looks super clean. It's almost like just a whole package that is just kind of being completed when you put these on. And like I said before, I wasn't expecting on using them, but I think they're gonna look solid. So I'm not going crazy with them. They're not gonna be like super aggressive far out, but you could run it like that if you wanted to. I'm gonna have them real nice and snug up to the diffuser and inside, so they just have a little bit of aggression on this back bumper. Super excited to check them out. I'm gonna run over to Home Depot real quick, my second home, and grab a couple of these, and then I'll be back and we will start this process of putting them on. And we back. So I bought a bunch of different stuff. I bought these to use as the factory screws. Then I bought some washers to use with everything. These are the closest ones to this thread pitch. So try and make those work. I also bought some longer self-tapping screws in case I need to put more in here for security, but I'm also gonna clean these up and then do 3M tapes. There's really no way they're gonna come off. They're gonna be nice and sturdy. So I'm gonna jack the car up. It's just gonna be a little bit easier when I throw these on. Have a little more room under there for the drill, but this should be pretty simple. Trial and error, but after I kind of figured it out, and it looks good. It's okay sturdy. I give it like an 8.5 out of 10. Like it's good. It's not going anywhere, but I might have to pilot one more self-tapping in there. Because the 3M, there's just a little tiny gap in between this, and it's hard for the 3M to really get in there and stick. So the screws are doing most of the job. I've got 4 in there right now. Those are the 4, and I might pop one more in. And those are just going into like the plastic under trays. So you're kind of just hoping that those hold, but it snugs up to the end right here pretty good. And I think, man, I think it's gonna work. It looks massive when you're up close to it, but once you're kind of like far away and you're seeing the essence of it all, it works. It does work. So what I did was I flipped this one over and literally just mocked up the exact same holes. And then we should be okay. I should be able to just repeat the same process on this side. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna see how it turns out. And then, yeah, hopefully cross your fingers, it works out. That was tedious. I'm gonna tell you right now that whole little situation, little dealio's a tedious operation, but we got it on, man. It looks good. It looks good. It's pretty aggressive. I have to really see it out. So I'm gonna pull the car out of the garage just so we can kind of like do a walk around and see it and take it in a little bit and look at it. But I do like it. I'll probably pilot one more screw in each one, like dead center on each one. The way to do it is to definitely just figure out your holes for the first one and then just flip it over, put it on top of your second one because they are the exact same size, and then just pilot through so all your holes are identical on each side. So that was what I did. I used the first one as a mock-up, flipped it over, plopped it on top of this one, and then piloted the same holes into that one, and it just bolted right up. So I do have to be honest though, like after kind of seeing it in the garage and up close and stepping back, I think this is gonna work. I think it's gonna kind of complete the whole package of everything that we have going on here. And I don't know if you guys saw in my last video, but I did add just one more little bit of carbon. I'm loving those. They're like the smallest detail, but they're just so cool. All right, so I will be the first to admit this is teetering on the edge of too aggressive. But it does look good. There's no doubt about that. Give you guys all the angles here. Usually I know right away when I see it on the car if I'm gonna like it or not, but I've got to admit, man, I'm on the fence with this one. Maybe just because I'm not used to it, like I just have to get used to seeing it on the car. It does work with everything though, but it's aggressive, man. Like those little splitters, they definitely change up the whole rear end. I'm gonna need you guys to chime in on this one. What do you think? Should I run them? Should I run them? I think if I'm being like super picky though, ones that followed the contour of the rear bumper a little bit better would be better suited for this car. That's just my opinion. When I look at it, that's kind of like what I envision. So I might try and source something like that. I'll run these in the meantime and just kind of see how I end up feeling about them. I'm on the fence right now though. I was on the fence when I initially put them on, and I'm still kind of on the fence even with everything else. I just don't, I don't know. Car's filthy right now. No judgment. Everything else is looking freaking spot on though. This car's looking sick. But yeah, I don't know about these. I'm still trying to figure that all out. I'm totally on the fence, man. This usually I know right away. Like usually I see it on the car and I'm like yes or no. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a tough one today, guys. I really don't. To be honest with you, I wasn't even gonna film this, but I figured why not? I kind of show you guys everything else that's going on with the car. Might as well show you these rear diffuser extension splitters, whatever you want to call them. They look good. I think I just need to get used to them. It's like one of those things where you throw them on right away and you're like, it's different. It looks super aggressive when you're up close to it, but when you're further away, it looks pretty good. I don't know how it translates on camera yet. I gotta watch the footage, but you guys drop your opinions down below. You tell me what you think. I'm gonna sit with them for a couple of weeks and kind of see if they grow on me. Like I said before, I think it would be really cool to see a set of splitters that kind of went with the contours of that rear bumper a little bit better, rather than having such a hard edge, but what do I know? So I have a couple of parts that are over at paint right now, and that's why I'm missing that gas cap. They're matching the paint to that gas cap. So the next few videos are gonna be pretty exciting. Any of the products that you guys saw in today's video will be linked down in the description. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Please do subscribe, comment down below, like this video, and hit that bell notification. Just like that, this video is over, and we're out. Peace.